What is good, my peoples? This is Kobe2408. As always, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoy these videos. Make sure you hit the notification button so you know when I upload new videos or when I'm live streaming. I'm going to talk about a few changes to the upcoming champions in this video. First up, we have RYZE. Now, everybody was thinking RYZE was supposed to get a rework, and unfortunately, he is not getting a rework. Medler in this post mentions that he says, not currently planning a rework for RYZE. More heavy balance changes, very similar to how they balanced Shen. So a few patches ago, they nerfed Shen's ultimate. However, his ultimate does more shielding, the less HP a champion has. Not only that, his Q damage actually is a lot stronger in the early games. His Q, I believe it's his sword, where like you press the Q and the sword comes to Shen. It gives him a shield, and then his 3 auto attacks do a significant amount of damage in the early game. So that's what they're planning on doing with RYZE. I think they're balancing a lot of his early game, like wave clear, and then late game he just becomes this like unstoppable tank with a ridiculous shield. Basically, you build RYZE as a tank almost, and he does like he basically feels like he's doing true damage in the late game. So I think that's what they're trying to balance out. Definitely not trying to make him too squishy, but again, tanky enough where he can, because he doesn't have much range on his spells, so he does have to get very close, and he does have quite a bit of mobility as well, so they might end up nerfing some of his mobility and some of his shielding. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with RYZE. So why isn't RYZE getting a rework? Because I was really looking forward to another rework. And Medler mentioned in this post, we failed to do a good enough work in the previous reworks is the blunt answer. We made some progress on some of RYZE's issues. Example being that tanky while still dealing that much damage, but ended up adding new issues while chasing other goals. So they tried, obviously what he's saying here is they tried to do a rework. It didn't pan out because he was doing way too much damage again, and he was being extremely tanky. Or on the flip side, he was very low in damage, but he had high movement speed. So what they're just going to do now is just scratch everything with what they were working on and just try to tweak what he is right now with his spells. So they're going to move some of his probably early damage, early wave clear to mid to late game is what he's going to be, and just go from there. And then if he needs a rework, maybe next season, they'll probably work on that, but I doubt he'll see a rework, just the way Medler had mentioned that they're not going to give him a rework. So it's unfortunate. I was looking forward to it, but for those that like playing RYZE in his current state, he's going to stay that way, and he's probably going to see some buffs and some nerfs, and maybe something a little bit changed with his ultimate. Maybe the radius is going to be not as far, or it's going to be a little bit faster to cast. We'll find out in the coming patches here and see what pans out for RYZE. So we have 2 updates on 2 mini reworks for 2 champions, AZIR and LeBlanc. When can we see these changes for these 2 champions? And first up, we have LeBlanc. Now, Medler mentioned he's not sure on the LeBlanc timing, but LeBlanc is proving to be quite a bit tougher to do her mini rework, so he'll update us when he has anything about that. However, AZIR, his changes have gone fairly smoothly, and we can probably aim to see his mini rework in patch 719 or 720. Currently on the PBE, it's patch 718, so that's not until the middle of next month or the end of next month when we'll see AZIR's mini rework to be released. I look forward to it. I used to play AZIR, but he's just taken a huge nerf, and he's not as good in solo queue. Again, he's good in the competitive scene just because of how much he adds to a team fight, but in solo queue, he's not as strong. I look forward to seeing his rework. I know they're going to do something with his Sand Soldiers, because that's where his power spike is. It's in his Sand Soldiers. And they just make him... Basically, he's like an ADC, but a mage, and does an insane amount of damage. So I think they're going to nerf the range on his Sand Soldiers. And, you know, who knows? Maybe you can only have one Sand Soldier up at a time when they do the mini rework. But who knows? I'm not really sure. Medler hasn't said anything about exactly what's happening to AZIR, just when can we see these changes. So look forward to seeing the changes, either 719 or 720 patches, and I'll have videos on that on the PBE. So just a quick update on some of the Runes and Mastery system that's coming out pre-season 8. There's a whole new Runes and Mastery system that's coming out, and it's going to be free. Also, if you bought any runes after the date, I think May 24th, they're going to refund you all your IP, or they're going to do something special and maybe give you extra boxes in the Hextech crafting system or extra keys, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll have more information when it comes out. But basically, someone had asked Meddler, you know, he runs 29% attack speed runes for Yasuo, like how will they compensate for that? And Meddler responded that basically they're going to give extra base stats for all champions that are going to compensate for the loss in runes and masteries. For example, Yasuo would probably get extra attack speed or scaling attack speed on his base stats. For AP champions, they probably get more AP and scaling health, as mentioned in this post. For certain champions that are attack damage champions, they probably get more attack damage per level on their base stats, something like that. So champions basically are getting extra base stats, but this kind of sucks because you can't build, like for example on Echo, I like to run sometimes attack speed reds, and then I like to get AP Quints, and so that kind of is a downside to the new Runes and Mastery system. Is basically, you know, Echo is considered an AP champion, and he's probably going to get his base stats, only the AP side increased, and then the rest, you know, his attack speed's still going to be low, and then the attack damage is going to be low. Sometimes I do like to run attack damage runes and attack speed runes, but you can't mix and match anymore, so it's going to be very specific to certain champions, which kind of sucks. So there's not going to be this variety of things you can do with the runes. It's just going to be pretty straightforward, and I know they're simplifying the runes and mastery system so they can make it easier for people to understand, but that's what's going on with the new runes and mastery system. So the last thing I want to talk about in this video is two ADCs, Tristana and Kalista. Currently, Tristana and Kalista have a very good win rate, about 51% win rate. They've seen actually a spike in win rate in the recent patches just because there's some nerfs to some other ADCs, as well as IE becoming cheaper, Static Shiv and Rapid Fire Cannon becoming a two items that you can actually stack together. So that's how Tristana has seen her spike in win rate. Tristana builds crit, and so any crit items that become cheaper help her out a lot, especially with her kit and how it works. Also, Static Shiv and Rapid Fire Cannon stacking also help out Tristana. Static Shiv can crit now as well, so that helps, again, Tristana out. And then Rapid Fire Cannon just allowing her to get even more range. She, at one point in the game, I think she has the highest range out of all ADCs, even outranges Caitlyn. But Caitlyn initially has the highest range as an ADC, but that's what's basically, that's Tristana in a nutshell. And then Kalista in late, I think because of Blade Rune King and then some nerfs to a lot of the ADCs, as I mentioned, has helped Kalista out quite a bit. She's also a good counter to certain ADCs that are being played right now. Twitch, Tristana, just because she can out attack speed those champions. But Tristana and Kalista are not getting any nerfs currently, but we'll have to see in the later weeks for patch 7.18, which just released on the PvE. According to Meddler, they're not really going to do anything to them at the moment. I think they're sitting quite well. Any nerfs to any items really hurts Tristana, as well as Kalista, and Kalista just made a comeback. She's being played quite a bit in the LCS, and I'm seeing her quite a bit in the higher elos as well when I play ranked. But I think what the big factor is going to be Ardent Sensor. That item just got nerfed recently in patch 7.17, which is on the live server. So Ardent Sensor does help out Tristana and Kalista. Well, it helps out all ADCs. So that item being nerfed, I think is going to shift the balance in ADC power a little bit, more towards the bottom half of ADCs, but not much in the top. Like the top 5 I don't think are going to change. Currently the top 2 again are Draven and Twitch, and Draven is actually in patch 7, or I believe patch 7.17, he just received a huge nerf. You know, I think Draven's going to fall a little bit off the top 1 and 2 spots. I think he'll probably go down to 5 or something, but he still does an insane amount of damage. But we'll find out here in the coming weeks, and I'll see exactly who the top 5 are. I always look on champion.gg. If you're not familiar with that website, check it out, champion.gg. It tells you all the best ADCs, mid laners, top laners, junglers, and supports. It's a very good tool to use, especially if you're playing ranked. But that's all I got for this video for today. As always, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'm Kobe2408. Thank you for watching, and you guys stay awesome, my friends, and I'm out. Peace!